Hello everyone, I've been wanting to make a tutorial map for the roll tech for a while now. It's my favorite Mercy parkour tech, and I finally got around to it. So for the VOD, I thought I could do an educational voiceover that includes in-depth explanations on the levels as well as some added visuals. Rolls and their varying difficulties are easiest when you start to visualize and understand your Mercy within the space. I know this sounds really nerdy, but hear me out. So first I want to show off a diagram so you can see what rolling off an object can look like. During a standard sling, you'll aim yourself through a doorway or past an object. You want to avoid touching the ground or stopping on an object that could block you and slow down momentum. With rolls, you'll have to bounce off an object or the floor in order to complete the level. Depending on what angle you hit the object at, you'll continue right on past it without resetting the level. Sometimes you might not even be able to reach a certain distance unless you roll off something. When learning how a specific level needs to be done, I like to try and imagine what part of my Mercy's body is smacking the object so I know where I should be aiming for. Some rolls feel like you must barely glide your feet or your ankles off of it to keep more of a smooth or horizontal movement. Other times you may need to imagine your knees hitting off the area, and sometimes you might even need to smack your waist against the object. If I feel like I'm not getting the roll by hitting my waist, I'll try to go next for what feels like my knees, and if that's not working, I will try to go next for what feels like my ankles. Roll levels can be tricky both because you must hit the correct spot to bounce and with the correct part of your body. Hopefully my map will get you comfortable with what it feels like to roll as well as introduce you to different kinds. Let's get started. So I start off my map with a standard roll on a ledge going straight forward. If you sling yourself completely parallel to this ledge, it will bounce you straight forward onto the checkpoint. Turn around and complete the next level the same way. You can also bounce off of objects, and object bounces can be more straightforward and simple, or they can give you a sharp vertical movement upwards. And here we have another ledge roll. You're just going to aim straight forward from the bot. This is another object bounce where it will give you vertical momentum. It can be a little bit tricky, but again, try to imagine what part of your Mercy's body is hitting the hay bale. If you're hitting your ankles and it's resetting you, or if you're hitting your waist and it's resetting you, try to go at it from a different angle that time. So you can also roll off of objects into a direction other than straight up or straight forward. This is kind of a combination of a roll and a wall bounce, so you'll quickly flick your aim at the same exact time that you bounce off the object, and if you keep the momentum correctly, you'll make a sharp turn to the left. This level is more of a wall bounce. If you hit an object with the side of your body more so than smacking directly into it, and you aim as you hit off of that, you'll kind of bounce off of it like in this case. So now the next portion of the map is going to cover some more complex rolls as well as ones that must be very precise. Some of these levels are not going to be forgiving. On more difficult maps, rolls can become so specific that the angle you must hit and the place you must hit can be close to pixel perfect. One of my favorite kinds of rolls is a double roll. These are tricky as you need to have enough momentum to roll not once but twice. Depending on how the level is crafted, the second roll could be slower and require precise aim to keep speed at the end, or the level may be set up in a way that the second roll comes along very smooth, quick, and easy. Another thing that's common in harder maps is levels where they cannot be done without a roll. For most of the previous levels, if the orb wasn't on that object, it could have been done with just a simple sling. The orb forces you to roll there instead. Now the checkpoint is too far away or in an unobtainable spot without getting a little bit of extra height and distance through the roll. The final levels will not be too hard, just some car rolls because they're fun. Car rolls and some other rolls off of objects can be tricky because of the collision on the surfaces. The surfaces can feel a little bit wonky and like it resets you very easily. So in these cases, aiming and the location that you roll off is key because these objects aren't as forgiving as others. The intention of the map is to get you familiar with both easy and difficult rolls and to give you some practice. There's probably some levels that you can cheat if you want, but it's up to you to get what you want from this map. Hope you enjoyed!